Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on how to integrate SCILL into your Unity project. SCILL is a platform which allows you to easily add gamification into your application. Today I'm going to show you how to basically create challenges, battle passes, and leaderboards in the SCILL admin panel, and how to visualize them using the Unity SDK, and also how to interact with the SCILL backend using events. So let's check it out. So the first step would be to take a look at the admin panel. So if you haven't actually created any apps, this is what's shown. So let's first create an app. Let's call it SCILL tutorial. Give it a test tag. We also want it to have challenges and to have battle passes. So we select yes on both points. For now, we're gonna let the other settings just stay like this and save. So now we've created our first app. So make sure that you actually select the correct app so that you can actually access the settings here on the left. The second step would be to add an API key. You don't have to give it a label, you can just press generate. And with that, you've basically finished the setup in the admin panel for your first app. Now, of course, we don't have any challenges or battle passes or leaderboards yet. So let's do that now. Select personal challenges. And now you can see there are both categories and personal challenges here. In order to create a challenge, we first need to create a category. So you can think of categories as a kind of directory for your challenges. I'd like to create some daily challenges that the user can basically finish every day in order to get regular rewards for completing his challenges or for regularly opening an app. So let's call it daily. There's also a daily category type that we can select, and we want the category to already be active. So you would select inactive if you don't want to immediately activate the category. If you, for example, plan a category to add a category in the future and already adjust all the settings, but you don't want it to be shown to the user yet. Okay, great. So now we've got the first category. Let's create our first challenge. We could either use this button or directly create a challenge using the button right here. Using this automatically selects the category daily for us. So let's say we want the user to be rewarded to do daily kills. So let's call it daily kills. Category is already set to daily. The challenge type is kind of important. So the way progress is updated in SCILL is by checking how many events of a certain type have been sent, basically. So if we want to track the amount of kills that a user has performed, we want to select the challenge type kill enemy. Please scroll past it. Here, kill enemy. Perfect. Now let's say we want the player to do at least 10 kills. So this is the goal condition. Basically you say at least 0 for at least 10 kills, 1 for at most 10 kills. Doesn't make much sense, but if, for example, you have a racing game and you want to say, okay, the user has to do a lap in at most 30 seconds, then you would select a 1 here. But in our case, we're selecting a 0. The goal is to kill 10 enemies every day. Okay, so let's select a live date. Let's put it to now. Now the challenge icon can be used to visualize, for example, an icon to represent the challenge. So let's say daily kill. Can also say daily kill HD. Let's say daily kills makes more sense. Okay, now to the reward type. We could select either nothing. We could reward with skill coins, with your own in-game money, so some kind of currency that you created, with experience points or an item. In our case, let's just say money and like 10 of the in-game currency. You could also select an experience or a certain amount of experience that you want to reward the player. For now, let's leave that empty. And if you want the player to be able to actually buy the challenge in order to activate it, you could also set a price here. We're not gonna do that for now. More important is actually the time management. So if we select activate it manually, basically the challenge only start, or the duration for which the challenge is active only starts once we actually activated the challenge using the Unity SDK in our client-side code. So if I put in here 60 minutes, then at the point that the challenge is activated, the user has 60 minutes to complete the challenge, otherwise it will be reset. In our case, we actually want it to be automatically handled, and we want the challenge to reset daily. Could also select weekly or monthly period ranges. The time zone currently is for us Berlin, and we want the daily challenge to reset at midnight. That's okay. Also important, we want the challenge to be repeatable. So in this last point, we could also add some metadata. Basically, this can be used to further specify what kind of events should actually be counted toward the progress of the current challenge. So if we want to only count the kills, the robot kills that we do, we could say, okay, only count events that specify an enemy type of robot, for example. And then it would be daily robot kills or something. But in our case, we don't want any metadata, and we just want to create our challenge like this. Okay. And we successfully added our first challenge. So before we get started in Unity, let's first test the settings that we've applied here. So let's get back to apps, and then we can click on this Playground button here. And this automatically sends us to the SCILL Playground, where we can easily test all the settings that we've applied. So if we use this button, the app ID and the app API key will be set automatically for us, and some kind of random user ID. So let's take a look at the challenges. Press update once, and then the challenges are also available. So you can see the category here, and also we've got our challenge daily kills. So let's try and unlock it. Okay, after unlocking it, we also have to activate it. And we can also see all messages that are basically being sent to us. In the SDK, we can also receive those kind of messages, so we can immediately check if the unlocking was actually done in SCILL. So let's also activate the challenge, and let's press update. Usually this shouldn't happen, but you can see we've activated our daily challenge. There's the time remaining, and you can see we've got 0 out of 10 kills. So let's actually try and interact and see if we've set up everything correctly. So we can add we can send events using this panel here, and we can select our kill enemy event. Now the event type can be set to single or group. You want to select group if you want to set progress to a certain value. So if you want to say, okay, kill enemy, set it to the value 7, doesn't matter which value it had before, this is what you would use. If you want to use, but in our case, we want to adjust the progress incrementally. So we want to send an event of type single. And now the required property would be the amount of kills that we're doing. Let's set it to 1. And here we could set the optional properties. So for example, like I've shown you previously, if we want to count enemy or robot kills, then we would select the enemy type robot. Not necessarily in this case. So let's try sending an event. It actually failed because we need to set the session ID. So session IDs are used, for example, if you want to only count kills in a certain match. So if you have matches set up, you want to say make a challenge where you want the player to kill 10 enemies in one match. Then you would set the session ID to your match ID, and once a new match starts, adjust the session ID, and then also the progress will be reset. So, but right now, if you don't need this, just set it to persistent. That's okay, or to anything else basically, and then we can send the event. And this time it was actually sent. You can see our progress updated. You can also see the incoming real-time message here, and basically this is what we will receive. And yeah, so we can see everything works as we want it to. Okay, so let's stop here for now. In the upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how to integrate the Unity SDK using the package manager, and how to quickly set up the personal challenges, battle passes and leaderboards in your Unity application. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.